We'll be seeing you.
ADR Networks presenta.
This is Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch.
And this is...
Foreign Show!
On the Foreign Show.
Sorry, the microphone wasn't on, so let's start again. My name is Celestine Angel.
My name is Isaac Rakesh.
And we are here on ADR Networks, activating your senses. We were saying basically the same thing, so all good.
No, but this time we got it. Yes, anyway, we're going to jump into that insider right now, and we're going to talk to you guys about a show that's happening, all right, on the 8th of July.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's basically, we're just doing a quick insider right now to share with you the show that we're doing tomorrow. From next week onwards, we will definitely share with you more stuff. But these weeks we have been so busy with our shows that that's all that's in our brain. Yeah, basically. So yes, we are going to be doing like some songs that we produce ourselves, and we're going to share them with you for the first time. So we really hope that you will come down. And also songs from the album that we released during COVID, which is all about Zen, very reflective, conscious topics. So if you enjoy this kind of thing, come down and vibe with us. Basically.
And we put that over kind of like soul music and stuff. So that's kind of our vibes. Yeah, there you go. That's the poster right there. And this place is actually Barrio Vivo. All right, and
it's important.
We're gonna be there. We're gonna be having a good time. So come on down.
Yes, we start at 7:30. Come down, eat, drink, have a good time. Basically.
Yes.
The entrada is free. It's what they call voluntary contribution. So you can come. You can basically I would call it like a tipping kind of culture, and there's no ticket price, basically. Come down, join us. You're super welcome, and say hi, basically, to us.
Yes. All right. On today's show, we have a friend that we met over quite recently, that we worked with.
Yes, we worked with him the very last show.
Yes, and he is probably backstage right now. And he is DJ. You want to do this?
His name is DJ Masked Afro.
And we call him Cornelius.
Yes. So, Masked Afro is his DJ name, and he's not here yet. So let's just talk a little bit about him.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a guy from Kenya, so we would like to know more about his country. And today's topic is all about the African culture and music that is emerging in Mexico City, which is a real thing. Because I think in the last few years, the pop-up clubs happen, and it's all about this African culture. African music, Afrobeats is coming up, and somehow is really connecting with the listeners here or the party goers here. So we wanted to chat about all these things with him.
All right, before the guest is not here yet. So yes, those vibes we've been noticing, post-COVID here in the city, you find a lot of this kind of parties and that kind of sound, the Afrobeat stuff, this is kind of like post with the Wizkid era, with all that kind of music coming up now. You find a lot of these kind of parties and stuff, and we want to talk to Cornelius about this and about his impression also about the mixing of these two cultures, these African vibes, with the Mexican kind of scene, because both of these cultures are actually very, very into having a good time, just kind of wilding out in a way, just living life to the fullest,
We're talking about the Mexican
Yeah,
culture
both cultures.
and the African culture.
The African and the Mexican culture.
Right. So,
And-
like, I mean, also particularly, I would like to know more about Kenya. He's our first Kenyan guest. In fact, the first Kenyan dude that we know. So we're very interested
I
to.
also knew some Kenyan dude. One other person. Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds familiar that we did, like Kenya, like that. Yeah,
yeah, but not many. So we are, yeah.
So I mean, I did a little research. I mean, knowing nothing about Kenya, I know it's East Africa, and it has like its own like depth, you know, like. I mean, like if you're talking about Afrobeats and Amapiano and all that, these sounds are coming from Nigeria, and the Zulu language and stuff like that. So I want to know what Kenya has to offer in terms of its culture as well, specifically Kenya. But we are asking Cornelius about Africa in general as well, and the rise of the African sound and all that. Because I mean, Afrobeats coming straight from Nigeria. It is, and it's so popular right now. It's definitely like exactly what I said, the rise of the African sound. Yeah, because like also while I was researching, I realized that if you say like Black culture, that doesn't relate to Africa. It's actually the terminology is directly about African Americans. So
right. So it's more of an American thing when you say
when you say Black culture. So when you say African culture, then we're talking directly about the whole continent of Africa, and we're not talking about the American like issues, like for example like Black Lives Matter and all that is all like under the Black culture,
right?
You know,
And it's interesting because the UK, I mean, when in the whole UK or European scene, you get another vibe when you use I bet they have their own lingo for these kind of things, you know, like specifically referring to Africans from Africa versus Afro Americans or Afro other European countries, you know. Yeah, these are all really interesting topics that we can get into, you know.
Yeah. Like Cornelius is joining in like in a bit. He's already he already messaged me.
Coolio.
So like I mean it is this whole topic it's really interesting for us because like before the emergence of this sound, like the pop-up club scene did not exist. It really came out and we got super excited about it because it was so our thing. Like it felt like when we were clubbing in the 90s back in Singapore, like it felt that way, like that it was something fresh and cool happening, and we were in the, you know, we're right smack in the middle of it.
And new also, right? They had the vibe of something, something new.
It was like, hi, Cornelius.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, what's up, my people?
How's it going? All good, man. Chilling, man.
Because you were not on, we were just chatting by ourselves all about the like the African culture, the music. So now you're on, we can do it properly.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, the I can say like the pro is here now.
Thank you.
Take over, brother.
So sorry.
All right, so just
sorry about that.
No problem, bro.
No, you're perfect timing.
Yeah. Why don't you tell the people a bit about you, your story, like where you're from and how you came to be doing music the way you are, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'll start off with my name. My name is Cornelius. I originally come from Kenya, and I've been in Mexico for now 5 years. I've been living in Mexico for the past 5 years, and it's been a really cool and interesting journey to just see how the music industry has evolved up to this very point.
Yeah, super.
And I'm actually really, really excited that you invited me to this show to talk about this because I've been on the forefront and spearheading some of these movements of like bringing African music and Afro-based vibes to the city.
Oh my God, amazing. Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, originally, like, I'm a software engineer, but I love music so much, so I do music for fun, and just like to enjoy my time and to enjoy the things of this world. So like, and it just started off as a hobby, and it became something really cool and something nice, and I kind of sort of run with it. So
Nice is
we're
nice,
here
yes, for
now.
sure, man. Yeah, you are nice on the decks, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, you're a software engineer, and like
Yeah.
DJing was on the side, right? But you are really
Yeah.
good. Like we enjoyed ourselves so much
Yes, for sure.
playing with you the other time. Everything was like really pro. You were like the vibe was on. Yeah.
Yo, software. I mean, I got some questions about that also. But before we get into that, maybe you can tell us a bit. I mean, we were talking, like trying to figure out like that Kenyan
Oh yeah. Please, you
that
are
vibe
first.
All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Let me speak about my home country and the Kenyan music scene. Uh,
Mm.
I will say it's growing. That's one thing. It's growing. Why? Because it's in its early stages of going global. Because Kenyan music is very regional. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today. It's very similar to how Mexico handles music as well. It's very
Wow.
regional. So,
regional. Okay.
by regional, what do I mean? Like, most of the artists who start to like come up and become very popular, they're only popular in Kenya and East Africa. So you will
All
never
right.
hear,
Okay.
you'll not hear their names like outside that scope, right? But
Right.
you enter into that scope of East Africa, and you're like, this is a guy. So
Mm.
that's one thing that I noted about Kenyan music and the Kenyan music scene. The second thing is, I think there's a huge language barrier, right? Most of the people who like listen, I would say, like, reason why Afrobeats becoming like popular, or like it taken off all over the world, is
Uh-huh.
because even if Burna Boy or like CK, they can rap in like a little bit of like the Nigerian dialect, but you pick
Yeah.
up one or two English words in there. Like you pick up a little bit of like, oh, is he trying to
Mm.
say this or this or this?
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Right. It's got the English kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
just got
Yeah.
some English there. But in Kenyan music, they sing in Swahili. So now
Mm.
it's a little bit of a barrier there. So we have Swahili, and also we have the slang, which is very popular in Kenya, called Sheng. So it's
Shit.
very,
Sure.
yeah. So it's very hard for like someone who's a complete foreigner to like pick up
Mm.
Kenyan song and be like, hey, I'm vibing to this. And because it's kind of hard to like penetrate when those
It's hard.
characters are
Right.
there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense. Like and Afro beats also we have noticed that the way the music is, it does connect with the Latin audience because of
Yeah.
like the clave how it is.
Mm.
So like it really crosses so many, like it crosses all the borders, like it has the English,
Yeah.
so
Right.
international,
Yeah.
and yeah, Afrobeats is really coming up.
And even a
Yeah.
kind of a pop vibe also, like all over. So I guess Kenya is kind of it would be like a kind of a challenge even for an MC to kind of like penetrate the Kenyan market, say for example, if a MC
I,
wants to go there and start to do music.
I would say it's not gonna be a challenge, but it will be a learning process. One thing I know about like things that have grown regionally to be very strong, or like music that has grown regionally, is that you just need to connect with the people, and that's about it.
Mm.
There's actually an Israeli artist. I've forgotten his name. Uh, but there's an Israeli artist who started singing in Swahili.
Oh,
Gilad
that's dope.
Milo, Gilad, I think that's the name,
Shout
Gilad.
out to Gillette Milo.
Yeah, and he started singing in Swahili, and
That's
that guy
dope,
just
man.
became popular. He exploded like poof. It was like two songs, and everybody knew about him because it was like,
Wow.
oh,
Fire.
this is a foreigner. He came, he learned the language, he learned about what we're doing, he connected with the people, and he
Mhm.
just rose to fame like that. So yeah.
Right.
It's just I would say it's not a challenge. It's just like a learning process and trying to figure
Right.
out how the best way to connect with the people there.
I think this is interesting, like that, like you're bringing up this topic about like connecting with the people, because like, like we don't really speak Spanish so well, so we
Yeah,
want to do our music in English, right? And
yeah,
like with the emergence of like the whole like African music and all the pop-up clubs that are happening, like you said that you are spearheading this thing, like right now
yeah,
we feel that we have some place, where we can do our music, and there's like an audience that understands English and that will vibe with what we are doing. And I can
The vibes,
feel, I can feel the alignment of it, and it's great. So thank you for
That's definitely.
like doing this whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
like
you're
what
welcome. You're
what
welcome. You're
what
welcome.
was your process basically? What was the process when you first started, and
I
and
would
what's your plan with it?
I'd say like the one thing that I noted was that there was an actual need. So when I arrived here in 2018, like there were in Mexico City, that is. I don't know about like other cities, but I'll speak for Mexico City where I've spent the most of my time. But in Mexico City, it was really hard to find places that play like Afro-based music. Like
Mhm.
there weren't no parties, no clubs,
Right.
no joints, nothing that was playing like
Right.
Afrobeat, dancehall, hip hop.
Yes,
You know, like
we
all this
know.
Afro culture. There
Yeah.
Yeah.
weren't any in 2018 when I arrived. There was nothing, but there was a lot of migration happening, and this is also one of the reasons why you'd see like Afrobeat and Afro-based genres becoming popular, is because of migration. So most people started seeing Mexico as a good place to stay or a good place to live, and most of the foreigners that were coming here, they really liked it. They loved the
Yeah.
place. They're like, hey, we like Mexico, we like Mexicans. This is a good place to be, and they were into it. So they were
That's
like,
for
Yeah.
real,
all
man.
right,
Yeah.
Mexico
now
is
we're
so
living.
special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're living here. When we're living here, there's also that part of entertainment, and like you
Mm.
kind of like try to, when you're off of work, where are you gonna go? You visit some places, you visit old places, but you're like, all right, where's like our really cool joint, our cool cultural joint? And that's where the need was. So
Mm.
a couple of friends of mine, and I think most of them, like they will all attest to this. We started having like in 2019, late 2019, there was a group called Melaninaires, which was like
Millionaires, all right. That's dope. That's dope.
yeah,
Yeah.
just for black people.
Yeah.
And
And there's a
brown.
group that there's a group that was created called Millionaires, mostly for like black people, and we just started throwing out like parties. Like the leaders
Oh
show
wow.
up,
Okay.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah. I'm not so
community
Cool.
community leader there, and we started having parties, right? And this was right before COVID hit. So late 2019, early 2020, that's when like
Right.
Millionaires, started becoming more and more popular. So now,
Okay.
that those parties, they started to grow and grow and grow and grow until it became to a point where it's like, all right, we can't have parties in the house anymore. I remember
Right.
those one day I was coming to the party, and I saw a line around the block to enter into the house, and I was like, yo,
Okay.
Yo, really
is this
nice
like a
spot. Yeah.
nightclub or something? You know why? Because a lot of hype had started going out there, and people started riding on the hype, and a bunch of my friends came together. They were like, let's create a party. And this is a party that is now known as Diaspora. Diaspora
Yeah. I
started
suspected
from
it.
that particular initiative and that particular movement. So
Right.
and
Millionaires.
and guess who was the first DJ Diaspora? Your boy. So
Yeah.
I'm also like really
Yeah.
happy about that. Because I remember that night, the first jazz floor party, we played like I played the whole entire night. I played all the genres, like Afrobeat, dancehall, hip
Yeah.
hop, everything. You had to cater for everyone.
Yeah,
But then,
yeah.
and then
yeah.
and the parties just started becoming more and more popular until it grew until to what it is right now. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like again, I have to say thank you because seriously, I love dancing to dance hall. Like,
Yeah.
I
This is
mean,
a message from the streets for the organizers.
yeah, it just felt so alive, like when I went for when I was going down to the first diaspora that I know of, I was like, oh, so excited about it, and I was like, yeah. Then I felt as though like I was like given a gift or something.
You'll be so life. Yeah.
Yeah, because we met like in Singapore when before hip hop was commercial.
Mhm.
And so everything was underground. Everybody knew everybody, and in the clubs, everybody could dance, and it was so fun. And that was what it felt like. We were going back to that time,
Yeah.
And
Nice.
yeah, you guys gave us this experience again, so thank you.
So the first
Well-
spot after you guys move out of the house,
Yeah.
what kind of place did you guys like get, or was it a club or?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
it just started off as like a party now. Officially started off like a party.
Yeah.
So it was like we would go to places, go to venues, and be like, "Hey, we'll collaborate with you. You give us the space, we bring the people, everybody wins, right? Like
Yeah.
you get to sell your drinks, you get to sell everything." And so that's how it just slowly started becoming popular, because in the city, I would say at that time, there wasn't any other place where you could get this type of music. So like
Yes,
there
for
were no
sure.
hip hop clubs, there were no like Afrobeat clubs, there were no like
Oh,
the
dancehall.
dancehall clubs were there, but the dancehall
Yeah.
that's in Mexico is very different from the dancehall that we all know.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it's very regional, and I think that's what I was about to talk about. It's very regional dancehall, so which means it's not the dancehall that comes originally from Jamaica or from like the UK, where we have like a lot of dancehall artists that grew up over there. So it's that's how it just started becoming popular. And and one thing that I know made it the most popular party was there wasn't a place in Mexico City where you could come and see that many foreigners gathered in one single place. So
Right.
that
Exactly.
that was that
Yeah.
was that was what made the whole thing to just blow up. It
Yeah.
was like, hey, you wanna go see black people? It's like that's where everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real international vibe
Yeah.
for
It
sure.
felt like
Yeah.
an international sound. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and more than that, also the people actually wanting, being like fans, and actually, putting in the effort to queue up for the tickets and stuff like that. And this just good vibes overall. No?
Yeah.
Good vibes
Good
overall.
vibes
Yeah.
overall. Yeah. We were happy about that, and we just rode that wave. So people just rode that wave, and I'm happy it's grown to what it is right now. The thing is, I remember in some of those parties, I used to play some songs, and nobody was dancing. I was dancing alone because nobody knows the tracks. and and I was just there, I'm like, hey, Burna Boy, hey, kilometer, like that kind of stuff. And you're there dancing alone, and Mexicans looking at you like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
like slowly by slowly, they started to like see, okay, these guys dance to some type of music. And then it became
And they
like an
like it.
influential thing. Like, all right,
Yes.
like
Yes.
this
Yes.
is actually good music. Like we can dance to this. And then it became a vibe, and now it's
Right.
caught up with
Because the whole process of immersion, right, which is like one of the topics of this podcast, is that it's like a two-way thing, right? It's like we embrace the the Mexican culture, and we also share what we like and what we enjoy with our Mexican friends, right?
Yeah.
So like what you have brought to Mexico City is really cross-cultural,
Like an exchange.
that is very positive, and yeah, it's given an outlet for locals and foreigners to gather together and enjoy an international sound, which like it is actually this pop-up phenomenon is happening in a lot of major cities around the world right now, and Mexico is a major city, so it should have this. And you guys did it, so awesome.
One of the what do you feel? I mean, or what is your impression of like this region or the regional culture? You know, like in terms of, I know it's a different kind of music and stuff, but you know, like what we were saying earlier, there's some values are very similar. Like the people really want to have a good time, you know, and they like to.
I would say the base factor or the underlining factor of everything here is entertainment. So if you're able to entertain and connect with a crowd, then that's the first step to getting your music out there, or to like, you know, being someone who's recognizable in this Mexican music scene. But the reason why I wanted to say that it's very regional, this is based on so many factors. One of them is, I got some notes here so that, you know, I prepared for this.
Do it, man, do it. Yeah, we appreciate that, man. We got notes too, man. You know
That's why I give you the
guidelines
so you can do the notes.
Your boy's all serious right now. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get to it.
Yeah,
so now, one of the things that's affecting like the music scene here is, of course, we have a lot of it's not very common, or you wouldn't see it right away, but there is a little bit of like class and classism here in Mexico. So
good point.
And this is something that happens all over across all Mexico, and you'll find that like the higher class will listen to a particular genre or like a particular set of songs, and they wouldn't move away from that, because they pass that down to their kids, and the kids pass that down to their other kids, and you know, it just keeps going on.
It's part of their identity, right? Yeah,
part of their identity. So now you find like the high class will listen to, and this is where like most of the population, or like the highest or most popular genre, because people want to be associated with that class, is like you find rock being very popular here, and pop music. So those are the two genres that, like, whenever if you're like a DJ or you want to play in any club in Mexico, if you have a set that contains pop music and rock, you'll probably like, you know, just easily fit in.
You'll be okay.
Those are you'll be all right. So those are the most popular. And then you have like classics coming in, like we talk about like 90s, 80s. Those are the ones that are like, you know, they have a huge fan base here as well. So that's one of the aspects that affects the music here in Mexico. The other thing is it's very regional, like I said. So you'll find like people from the north listen to a particular genre. People from the central, from the south, or from the Bay Area, like the Gulf area, they'll listen to a particular genre. So in the north, it's more popular to have things like banda, or like you know, norteña music, which is mostly regional from there. In the central, you'll have a little bit of cumbia coming in, that's external from Colombia. You'll also have a little bit of mariachi, you know, from Jalisco. This is very popular over there. And salsa, you know, coming into there in the Gulf, or in the Gulf area. So like when you have Quintana Roo states and Cancun and that side, Oaxaca, you'll find like, you know, more external genres coming in. So like salsa from Colombia, cumbia as well, and you know, a little bit of mariachi coming into as well. So it's very regional. So a particular region, and this is not only in the entire country, this is also in Mexico City. Like parts of Mexico City listen to particular genre. So you'll find like in this, I'm serious, like this is something you can go and do your experiment, but this is data that I've collected from all the times that I've lived here and all the parties that I've attended here. So when I get invited to the south, when I get invited to the south, most of the time, the south region of the city, you'll find that banda is more popular there. If you go to the central, where there's like more like you have like more like middle class and low class. You find that reggaeton and perreo and salsa and cumbia, those are the most popular over there, right?
Right.
If you go
Okay.
further north to the city, you'll find that it's like banda again, more popular over there. So it's
So
it's
the
very
outskirts, yeah.
the city outskirts. It's very regional. So you find
Yeah, I think you
most
might
of
be
the
right, man. I'm thinking about it, and
most
yeah, makes sense.
most of the clubs and most of the DJs, they usually go and you look at the scene of what exactly is popular in this part of town, because different parts of town have their own different genres that are popular.
Right.
So that's one thing that you all have to note, and it's you can do your own research, but that's something that I've noted that's very, very deep here. So yeah.
So, I mean, we usually hang out with like musician friends or artist friends, sometimes business people, and I mean, and it depends. If we just go to like any regular party, we'll always try to control the music. We'll put like hip hop, but then like halfway through our song, they will put salsa or
Yeah,
reggaeton.
Then they like
Yeah,
switch
it's
it up.
always they always switch it. Yeah, like
it's
switch
real
it
out
up.
here in the streets,
You
man.
don't know how many times I've been to parties and I'm playing like Afro beats, and a few people are vibing, but then you have
Yeah.
like one or two come and tell you, hey, do you have a reggaeton song, or hey, do you have like a salsa song to put on?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they don't identify that region, or that particular location does not
Right.
identify with that particular
So,
muted genre.
but basically, with diaspora and all the pop-up clubs that are happening right now, this sound is getting more and more present,
Yeah.
in Mexico City.
And
So
accepted, like
yeah, and people are more aware of it. So, and they're starting to listen to it. And in fact, there like a lot of Mexican friends, like, and I'm not talking about musician friends, like just like out there, they actually mention Afrobeats when we tell them that we do music. They ask, do we do Afrobeats? Like they are very into it right now, like Mexicans. So I think, yeah.
That's a good thing. And as a music analyst and someone who's looked at music scenes, different music scenes, international music scenes for a long time, I would say that's a good thing. And it can also come and bite you in the back. Ask me
Like how?
why.
yes, break it down, please.
Why?
Tell us.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like just to
I'm gonna drop-
interrupt you for a little bit, but like this is so comprehensive. We love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing all the
Really enjoying
homework
this for
and
sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I'll drop in some facts and some and I'll draw from different examples. Okay. Now,
Okay.
the reason why Afrobeats is becoming more and more popular here in Mexico, and Mexico City in particular, is because it's riding on what we call pop culture. Right now, Mexicans are very in tune with pop culture. So, like, you put a band or a song inside a movie or something, and that thing goes viral 100%. Like, everybody's into it. Look at bands like Imagine Dragons or they feature so much in like pop culture, like movies,
Yes.
series, Star Wars. You have like League of Legends, games, and you have the music
Right.
in there. So you find that now Afrobeat is riding on this wave of like, oh, this is something really cool. We like this. This is popular. We got a lot of people coming in. They're dancing on it. Now this is a wave of pop culture, but the problem with waves is they got their peak and they also got their like their valley. So the problem is when it's at its peak, nobody usually thinks about sustainability, and that's the problem. Like most people think about like, oh,
Interesting.
we're gonna ride on this wave, and this is a new style. We're coming in, you throw in one or two songs, you hit, and you're like good. But the thing is, if you don't have like an identity within that particular genre, you will fade with the wave fading, because people are gonna be like, "Oh man, we're so tired of listening to Afrobeats now.
Yeah.
Like, let's go back to our, usual normal thing. Like, oh,
For
I've
sure,
heard these songs for so many times," and that's when the wave comes to a dip, right? And when the wave
Yes.
comes to a dip, if you're an artist and you haven't really established your music in a sustainable way, and by sustainable way I mean you're not really riding a wave. You're not producing Afrobeats because it's popular. You're producing
Yeah.
Afrobeats because you actually like it and identify with it, and the themes that associate with Afrobeats are something that you identify with. So that is that pronounces more sustainability, and this is very common. Like how many rappers how many rappers have gone broke? So many, right?
Word.
Because
Yeah,
they
man.
ride on
For
that
sure.
popular wave, and when the
Yeah.
wave comes crashing down, you crash down with the wave. So
Wait,
but
need to get you.
Yeah.
You're saying that riding the trend is more sustainable rather than if you are fueled by your own
no,
love for the music, or you're saying the other way
I'm
around?
saying the exact opposite. Like
Okay,
if
I got it
don't
now.
ride the trend, don't ride the trend. Like
Riding
you
the
can
trend
take,
is not sustainable. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
like you can take advantage of it, right? Like yes,
Yeah.
you can use something here that has a more Afrobeat vibe because that's what's hot. But like don't ride the trend. Like don't come up with an album
Yeah.
of Afrobeat if you're not an Afrobeat
Volume.
musician, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I'm
No, but it's a
talking
really
about.
interesting point that you're saying about this sustainability, and
Yeah,
these topics, because on this show, that foreign show, we talk to a lot of creators, of course, travelers, but independent makers and artists, and this
exactly.
topic has come up a lot, about sustainability, because at the end of the day, the primary objective is to keep doing what you're doing, or have the ability
Exactly.
to keep doing what you're doing. Yes, so the way you mention it, riding the wave and kind of using the wave, but still finding your identity by connecting
Exactly.
with the people, right?
That's what's
It's,
important.
It's like a balance of the
yeah,
inside outside. Yeah.
that topic of actually, in a sense, holding hands with people is
Yeah.
something, I mean, even for us personally, is something we are also on the path of exploring.
Right.
When we create, or with other creators or with other people, or something, in this act of kind of holding hands, exchanging information, exchanging networks, this kind of thing is becoming very popular now. And what do you ask? This kind of ties in also a bit to the software part. This question is kind of, we've decentralized.
The nerdy Cornelius has to come up now.
You also the video?
No, I saw a video of you talking about the weather and everybody please be careful.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring
I was
to.
like, this guy, what does he do? Okay, maybe he's weather forecast. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You,
Yo,
I got
so
a
I guess
notification from Instagram. I got a notification from Instagram. They were like, "Hey, your reel got a lot of plays. Do you want to put this as a highlight?" I'm like, I just said whatever was there and put a bunch of scientific facts together.
Going viral.
that is cool. Man.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's funny.
Yo, but as I try and frame, if I frame this question, I guess what do you feel about this, or what is your viewpoint about this, like this whole, movement towards independent communities, like decentralized systems,
It's good. It's good. It's good. I would say it's a very good movement. It's something that most of the marginalized, I would say most of the marginalized genres didn't have this kind of a stage. So right now I am happy. I am happy
That's
that
great.
Afrobeats is being played in Japan. I'm happy that African music is being played in China and is popular there. Like you
Yeah.
have people singing to like, hey, calm down, and Rema, and you have CK, they
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
to concerts and everything. I am happy that that's happening, because for a long time Africa has just been like this cocoon where, oh, we don't really know what's
Exactly,
happening
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
But now
exactly.
we
Yeah.
have all this international attention right now, and we're saying like it's good that music is becoming more decentralized. Like you can have an Afrobeats artist coming up from Mexico, and that's okay. Same as like someone like Nasty C, who's an African and is very, very good with hip hop music, and he raps in American style and he became popular, and so
Yeah.
that's what we also want for this genre. We want people to pick it up, and because African music is also like something good and something hype to listen to, and it's mostly very dance focused. It's a lot of energy in African music.
Yes. It's
So
dance focused. That's what
yeah,
we love.
That's the
it's
Yeah, I mean
dance
like
focused. It's a lot of energy. You just making people move, and anything that has that kind of or brings that kind of energy in entertainment, that is something that is sustainable. Because I would say
right.
that I've already said it. Like, not everybody understands what Burna Boy says. Like, half of the world doesn't really understand what he says, right? But you're
Yeah,
there, you're
yeah.
like on the
you like
low,
yeah,
like
Yeah.
it's something you
exactly.
can connect to, it's something you can relate to, it's a topic, it's a topic
So
you can connect with, and that's what
his
moves people.
lyrics, it's like like some percentage in English and then a lot of it in what Zulu or what language is it?
No, 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 it's not Zulu. I wouldn't say I know what language it is, but it's one
Okay.
of the Nigerian dialects that we have, and I
Okay.
think the most popular are like Igbo and Yoruba. Those are the most popular
Yeah,
in
right.
Okay.
Nigeria. So it has to be one of those or like a sub dialect of one of those. But in Nigeria, there's also this type of English called Pidgin English, which is like
Mm-hmm.
English, but not really
That's
English.
nice.
The way Jamaicans talk, it's kind of like the
Yeah.
same thing that happened in Nigeria. So it's like English, but not really, really English.
Yeah, it's a version
No,
of English, a Creole, right?
Creole.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but real quick, you
Something
know
of
what I
the sort.
see? Like what, like from the outside, when we think of Africa's export in terms of music, right, to international scene wise or culture wise,
Yeah,
we have like Fela Kuti, and we have a lot of this funk stuff coming up from Nigeria, right?
I mean, Fela
yeah,
Kuti was the original Afrobeat, but
yeah.
without the accent, right? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, is this correct? I mean, like, what is it like from your point
Yeah,
of view,
that
right?
is
Like,
that is accurate. That is accurate. He
right?
was one of the people who championed Afrobeat as a genre, and so it became popular in Nigeria. And like I said, because of migration, because Nigeria is overpopulated, and so we have a lot of Nigerians moving out of Nigeria and going to live in other different parts of the world. So what do? When they move out, they take that music with them to a particular region. And when that region kind of sort of accepts that music and becomes popular, it just sort of rises up, right? And you can imagine it's like it's the same thing like a tree, with fruits and fruits having seeds, right? Like you're spreading out your little bits of
Hmm.
culture all over the world, and it's becoming accepted. Like if that seed falls on a nice place, that's another tree you got there, right?
It's
And
another
then
tree.
that tree produces fruit, and that fruit has
Yeah,
seeds, and and the cycle keeps
yeah,
going. So it's the same thing
Right.
with culture and with African music. And you'd find like it's still a niche here in Mexico. It's still a niche, I would say. Like uh why am I saying it's still a niche? It's because of this regionality thing happening here in Mexico. Like this
Okay,
region
okay.
listens to this type of music, so you still have a niche. But
So now this is a
but with
Mexico
this
City.
but with this
Yeah, right.
wave of
Yeah.
Afrobeats going all over the
Uh-huh.
world, then I'm hoping that, and this is what I'm
It will
hoping that
expand.
this will become a more sustainable, like it will become a more sustainable place, a more sustainable genre for artists to come in and jump on it. And I've started seeing that.
Right.
Like I'm seeing like Afrobeats DJ who are Mexicans, and they're not from
Mm.
Africa, and they
Yeah.
play very good
Yeah.
music. Like you look at the selection,
Yeah,
and it's like,
and they're
hey,
dope.
bro, how'd you know this song? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got some knowledge here and there, and
This
with
is
the
Yeah.
cool.
internet coming up, and you have a song from Africa, someone uploads it on YouTube, and it's international. Like
Yeah.
you have something you upload it on Spotify, everywhere in the world can listen. Anyone in the world, everywhere can listen to it. So uh that's also another thing that has helped
Yeah,
this
so
music to
I
kind of
take it,
flow.
yeah, that you like to see this kind of like or big patterns in stuff, right? Like, I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious also, like, what you tell us a bit about your personal journey in music, like what actually grabbed your attention first and how you started to, I guess, fall in love with all
For me-
music from what I can hear.
For me, I'll say like there was really a need. There was a need for African music here in Mexico at that time because
Okay.
nobody was doing it, nobody was playing it. It was the wave had already like started. So you'd have, someone like Burna Boy filling up stadiums in the US, and it's like, hey, Mexico, what's up? Like it's already there, like it's
It's
already
already
a
big.
genre, it's already
Yeah.
hype. Like what's up? What's going on? So the need was created. And when you come in and feel in a need, of course people will appreciate that. So I would say like
Yeah.
I've always been a champion of like spreading a good, like, part of my culture, part of like the music I listen to. I'm a champion for African culture and Afro-based culture. I'm a champion for that. Why? Because I'm thinking on the other way around. Like, like we had all this colonization happening. Now I'm like, why can't we do the same thing? So
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's a musical colonization.
the musical exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like back to what you were saying about how right now the decentralization of African music, right? I mean, it's such a beautiful thing because like when you realize this sound, the Afrobeat sound, is coming directly from Africa, and then you look at the music videos and they're so polished and like it has its own style and yet very high quality. You're like, oh, what is Nigeria like? Should I want to check out Nigeria? I want to know more about the country. Immediately you get that.
Yeah, exactly. And but there's one other layer to this, bro. And it's got to do with this Afro music. I mean, obviously, like we've been saying, it's very popular now. But there is a vibe in it, I feel, that kind of it kind of makes people feel that there really are no boundaries. And
yeah.
And
African
somehow
music
it's
gives
through
you
the
that.
music.
Yeah, exactly.
It's through the music.
They always say like we are all from Africa. Like we all started from Africa, so everyone is African. Like it's like it has this very inclusive feeling. Yeah,
it really does, and that really translates in the parties as well. Like, and that's really the vibe because when the music is playing, for example, in the diaspora parties, it's like it's a free for all. It's like everyone is on it. Everyone is dancing. Everyone's got something to say to the music.
Yeah, and then like there's an essential sound from African music that has this very tribal kind of beats, and this immediately just makes you want to like get down, and like dance, and it's
rhythm, the rhythm kind of stuff. Like the conversation we had the last time, and you actually said that you live in rhythms, right? There's your zone, right? Like rhythms
Isaac loved that. He kept talking about
I grew up listening to a lot of Jamaican music. So what happens in Jamaica in the entertainment scene is that you have a producer, right? And when the producer, creates a beat, he invites artists to come and sing on that beat. So you have one beat, but then you have different artists coming in with different songs and different, like different vibes. So and that's where the rhythm culture was born. And most of this was just done for promos, right? It was like, oh, we're just doing this, you come, bring your own bars, bring your own, bring your own writing, bring your own song. And if it goes viral, you're good to go. Like that rhythm becomes popular and that producer becomes popular. And then that's how the rhythm culture was. And it was accessible.
That's pretty cool.
It was really accessible from where we were. Why? Because there weren't a lot of barriers that prevented that from happening. Because when you play that music, it's like for promo. So you're not really trying to like get anything from it. You just want to gain what we call people's attention. And that's it.
It's to grab. Right. So on that note, do you produce?
I wish I did. I know a little bit about like post-production for me. But I usually just did post-production for my own mixtapes. But it's something that I really want to get into, and study. But I've mostly been like this forefront in terms of like just culture and like bringing in the music and creating like creative mixes, and that's the one thing that that has like I've really focused my attention on. I've just focused on being a very good DJ.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'm looking at production.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, this could be a thing, you know? So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So Cornelius, we have like 5 minutes left. What shall we close up this entire topic on? Like, I think we have covered a lot of ground on this idea, the idea of like African culture and music, and like I think maybe it'd be interesting to think about why like so many people are right now like you know, like for example Afro Roots Bazaar. I see that you're involved in that as well, and like it's
Yeah.
you get to try food from different parts of Africa,
Exactly.
like and also like products and everything. So like, why do you think people as especially interested in African culture? Like, why do you think Mexicans are?
Um, I'll attribute this to the previous point that I made, where Mexicans ride so much on popular culture, right? And like Afro beats, and you know, like the African wave is kind of like becoming something popular nowadays, and so that's one of the reasons why I feel like Mexicans are like, hey, what's this? And now you have songs like, you know, Rema making it to Mexican radio, playing Calm
Yeah.
Down, you know, like Calm Down being
Mm-hmm.
played there. And we have a lot of artists collaborating, you know, like we have Diamond Platinums from Tanzania collaborating with Maluma from Colombia. And, you know, it's that those are songs being played here in Mexican radio. And
Right.
we're happy about those collaborations because they introduce the artists to a particular, to a different kind of genre, a different location, like a
Right.
different people. And we're happy about that. So but one of the things that I wanted to add onto this point, and I think this is very important, and if anyone is organizing parties, an event organizer, or is someone who's like really involved in creating this Afro based experiences in Mexico, is that we need to work together. Because if you go out there and you do your own thing, and someone else is trying to do their own thing, and we're all trying to compete to get, you know, some crowds here and there, or competing for the bag, none of you will win. The only way for you to win is to come together as a people and as a culture, and as people who are like working as one, right? So that we don't have like 2 or 3 parties that are doing the same thing on the same
Yeah.
day. Like that doesn't really make any
I
sense,
love
you
that.
know?
That's a
So
great point.
Very
so
good
all
points
of
that you
you
made.
all
Yeah.
of all of you African event organizers, I am urging you, please try and work together. Division will not create any, you won't have profits from division. Like division is just, you not win, thinking that going alone will make you win more. No, that's not going to make you win more, but working together will make you win more, because it's still a niche up to this very moment. I would say you can pull up a crowd, but you won't fill a stadium. That's like, because the majority of the populations are Mexicans, so
Right.
you won't be able to fill a stadium, you won't be able to do this. So the
Makes
only
complete
reason,
sense.
or the only way is for us to work together on this thing. Like it's a movement, it's starting, it's a wave, but if we work together, we can create sustainable parties, we can create sustainable movements, we can create sustainable entertainment that is Afro based for the Mexican population. So that's what I would
Right. And
urge everyone else.
yeah, and then if you think about it, like most of these are pop-up clubs, right? So it's not like they have a physical location, and like if they are going to be like a few happening at once, it just doesn't make sense, because yeah, like why
Exactly.
would so you are making the audience confused, you know, like which one to go for, why, and it's overall just not healthy for like what you said, the sustainability. Yeah, very very good points that
It's a
you
great point.
made
Yeah.
throughout the entire show,
Yes.
Cornelius. Yeah, and like maybe can you just like tell us a little bit more about yourself before we end off, like
All right.
um
Yeah, maybe you can end off with
I don't
that.
know what do you want to know more.
Let's talk
I have
about
so
the
many,
masked Afro.
I have so many hats. So you all know me as DJs. There's some people who know me as a businessman. There are others who know me as an engineer. There are others who know me as a scientist. So I've got so many
Right.
hats. Which one do you want me to
Right.
put on?
But clearly you have like the sciencey brain. I mean, you even broke down everything nicely for us. So yeah. But like, okay, let's maybe we can talk about masked Afro, since that is the brand that you are going into with your DJing. Like
Yeah.
the idea with it is, I mean, before when you first started DJing, did you go with masked Afro already, or it was Cornelius in the beginning?
No, I was just going on with my own name.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think there's something that happened that wasn't very good, and it was, like I come from a very conservative family,
Okay.
and they, like, some people, within the family kind of like took screenshots and shared that with my folks, and they're like, oh,
Okay.
this guy went to Mexico to do ABCD, and my folks
Okay.
weren't very happy, so I got a backlash from that. So and
Okay.
that's where I've always like tried to like protect my online identity a little bit here and there, just for the folks to just, I want this space to be something that I'm experimenting on and seeing how
Mm-hmm.
best it will grow. So yeah,
Okay, I get it.
I'm doing some rebranding, like Masked Afro. It is me. I have like my own like little bit of masks here and there. I got like a collection. Like I got like a Spider-Man one.
Yeah, we see,
I got
man.
like uh LED ones,
Yo, we see
all
you,
these
man,
things
shining in
that
the club. Yeah, we see you, man.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to do something here and there to spice up my brand. But I'm looking
That
at
is
people
cool.
like Marshmello and DJ Cornetto,
I see.
people who have
Marshmallow.
people
Yo,
who
Okay.
have
Ulysses.
like made the mask a brand and just ran off with it. So
Mhm.
here we are, like
What kind of brand are
your
you?
boy is trying.
What kind of mask are you thinking of going for? Like, yeah, like just like
So
this, so you look like a superhero, or
I'm still on the experimental phase, so it will
Mm.
definitely be like something based, something more African based. So like, and a lot of our people actually, in if you look at the culture and the history, most of them
Mhm.
used to like go to parties and there were masks over there. Like you would see them
mm,
dance with masks. So it's part of
Right.
like our culture as
masquerade?
well. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
Right.
You mean
so
this
I'm
is like
gonna
an African thing? Yeah.
yeah, so I'm gonna try and like bring some of that here. So we'll see how
Some
it
of that
goes.
energy. That's cool, man.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
sounds
Right.
cool. And so the next
So
time you
yeah.
see Master Afro around, you know what to do.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, bro. It's been really, really enlightening. That that's the way that you look at things and your kind of like your broad perspective, and
Yeah.
also understanding things like for what they can be, also the potential of things.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I'm gonna do like a little bit of shout outs as well to all the
Please,
people
man, go
and
ahead.
all the event organizers who have actually helped this movement to go out. So of course, like Diaspora is one of them. Shout out to Diaspora Parties. Shout out to Afro Roots, who's holding it down with the culture side, and
Shut up.
bringing down the
Yeah.
food and bringing vendors
Yeah.
who are selling African products. Shout out to Pigeon and
Mm.
Patois as well. Pigeon and Patois is one of the it's a dancehall slash Afrobeats party that
Wow.
is coming up in the city as well. Shout out to
Mm.
Fino Club. Fino Club have recently
Mm-hmm.
started, incorporating dancehall and Afrobeats into their sets, and I'm really happy about that because we're not only riding the wave, like it's becoming something that is more and more sustainable. So
Mm.
shout out also to Barrio Fino. Yeah, Barrio Fino is also trying to bring out all of the Afrobeats genres into the scene as well. And all the DJs who play Afrobeats and dancehall, shout out to all of you who are holding it down for the
Yes.
culture. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you very
Yes, for
much,
sure.
Cornelius, and
Yeah.
we'll see you like as soon, and we'll catch up. Okay.
Thank you for
So
All
that.
right.
How's that
All right.
rocket?
I'm Celestine Angel signing out, and we have Cornelius
Thank
with
you
us,
very much,
Masked
bro.
Afro.
We will talk
Thank
again
you.
soon.
We are here on
For
ADR
sure.
Networks, activating your senses.
Peace.
Peace out.
Thank you to all who joined us here on That Foreign Show. It's been awesome. I'm Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch, and we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend, y'all.